I'll put that. I gotta go live. Hi, this is Elliot Fishman, and we're live on Facebook Live. And hi, 12:04. That clock's 4 minutes fast, so it's 12 o'clock. I'd like to say hi to everybody, and I guess hope everyone's doing okay wherever you are. I still have my haircut, and it's good, and shaved. That's good. So there's some semblance of normalcy. The topic we chose for today was one that is really on all of us in academics' minds, because yesterday was the first day of the new academic year, July 1st, and we welcomed our new fellows and new residents and new faculty. If you ask the question, how do we welcome them? We welcome them with masks and conference and a million Zoom calls. And so, people talk about the new normal. I am the first to say there's no such thing as the new normal. Normal is normal. It is what it is now, but in no sense is it normal. In no sense is it the new normal. Hopefully it's only the temporary normal. So it is a challenge. It is interesting, and so when I spoke to the fellows, I told them, and we had thought about the new fellows coming for the past month, people, Sheila Sheff, Linda Chu, Tiff Zahir. We all have thought about what we could do differently to kind of make up for the fact that all that social interaction, which is a critical part of the fellowship or residency, but we're worrying just about our fellows, is not going to happen. It may not happen the entire time they're here. We may not be able to share a meal with any of these people. We normally would have a reception last night or tonight or next Monday. That's not happening. The people who finished 2 weeks ago, the other day, 2 weeks ago, we had a Zoom conference call where we kind of said our thank yous and they said their goodbyes. It was pleasant. I mean, Zoom is okay. You can see people's faces. It's like doing Facebook Live. But there's none of the interactions. It's very, I won't say forced, but it's not that soft human interaction that we've spent the last million years kind of working on. I think one of the challenges, and with obviously with the new fellows, is how do you teach them? How do you engage them? We can, when you have old friends, you can talk on the phone or you can do a Zoom call perhaps. We do Zooms for all of our Felix, which is our AI meetings, and that works reasonably well, though it's nicer to be sitting around the table, but we can make up for it because you're passing along information, you're showing things, and you're asking questions. And that works okay. People are focused. The meeting starts on time, finishes on time. But I think beyond that, it's really, really difficult. I think that everybody is kind of worn. So when I speak to people now, depending what your situation is, whether you're single and you're in a house, maybe it's a small apartment, or you're sharing a room, sharing an apartment with someone, or you're married and have kids who are, well, now it's the summer, so they would be in camp. So now it's home camping, and then there was homeschooling for the past 4 months. I think people are just worn out. I think one of the challenges is, we said this before, and I was, as people were predicting this thing to last 2 or 4 months, remember on CTisus we said, ain't no way, we said this is a year or 2 years, and I'm going to stick by that if we can go to RSNA 2021, and if we can have a February course in February 2022, I'm going to be happy. But there was great results from the new Pfizer vaccine yesterday, and if things worked out and they keep doing so well, you might be able to have a vaccine in place by the beginning of 2021. Then people need to get it, and you need some timing, so that would put you into the fall of 2021. It would kind of at least make people more enthusiastic. Now, vaccines are always hard to develop. We know that. You got to make sure the virus doesn't change. You got to make sure there's not complications. Usually vaccines take years. We're trying to take 5 or 10 years of work and make it into 5 or 10 months. But let's say we have the best of the brightest and all the money in the world going after it. So I know that they're going to have a vaccine. The only argument you have is when it's going to be present. But so saying that, the question then becomes, how are people going to manage? And so when I speak to people, I try to make the point that it is it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you got to watch out for your ups and downs, and you got to. It's very easy. If I ask you quickly what day today is, you might get it right that today's Thursday, or maybe you'll say Wednesday or Friday. Of course, it's like a little bit like Groundhog's Day. Every day seems to be the same, and maybe some days you're not working, or some days you're working from home. But every day you're not saying, God, today, for example, I would be in Martha's Vineyard normally because I was going with my family yesterday to Martha's Vineyard. I was going to be there from yesterday was Wednesday to Sunday, and then they were going to leave, and I was going to stay for a couple more days and speak at the University of Pennsylvania, when they're kind enough to invite me to their annual course in Martha's Vineyard, the Harborview Hotel, which is a wonderful course, a wonderful place to be. I look forward to it, but it's not going to happen because it can't happen. Now, I know Dr. Cameron told me he's a Martha's Vineyard, but it's one thing going to a private home and having a meeting. Meetings aren't happening. I don't know how many of you are willing to get on a plane. I know people from business. Tony Cook from Siemens was telling me he's been flying all around and doing training. I don't, and people I speak to aren't that comfortable getting on a plane, whether it's for business or for pleasure. So this is just impossible to really think about and get your hands around. So I think it's very important when we think about the fellows to think about it in that regard, that this is something we didn't create. They had the same issues at their end of their fourth year at their training programs, but we need to somehow try to make certain that we do whatever we can do to make it a great experience. So we're doing things like beginning after the first week, we're going to have a series of mini lectures in CT, ultrasound, MR, a little bit of plain film, every day 5 o'clock. Really, we call it something like things you shouldn't miss. So it's not meant to be a lecture, it's meant to be pearls and pitfalls to really engage people. We always have other conferences, but we're having this thing special. I think I may have mentioned that every Wednesday, I typically would do a faculty case review every other week. Now I'm doing every week, longer, more organized perhaps, and we're inviting the fellows, the faculty, the residents. So instead of having 10 people, we have 40 people or 50 people. So we are doing many things to try to get around some of the problems. I think the challenges people have, it's like when the COVID first came and people were home, they were binge watching TV. You didn't see Larry David's last year, you would watch it. I saw it, I didn't watch it. But now people aren't binge watching anything. There's no new content. Anything you wanted to see you saw already. And many people I was speaking to Jim and Ava Zinreich, they have their TV on, but they're not really watching it. There's nothing really new. You're going to either have Fauci saying 100,000 cases a day, or Gottlieb saying 500,000 cases a day. And both of them have good data, and both of them may be in part right, at least for a short period of time. So I think this sort of very difficult times, I think, is wearing on people. I think the fact that you can't plan human nature, and particularly in academics, but in private practice as well, you're planning your next family outing, you're planning vacation, people are going away in July, some people are going to the beach, and some people are going to the mountains, and some people are going overseas, some people are going to Canada, and some people are going to the Caribbean, and some people staying home. But whatever it was, you were planning it, you were looking forward to it, you were doing it. Now, most of us are not doing it. I doubt the pictures of those crazy people in Florida on the beach was a high number of radiologists. I don't think that was, first of all, they were too good looking. Most of the people probably be radiologists. But all joking aside, I don't think it's radiologists. We're the people, or residents or fellows, who are going down to the beach without a mask, partying down in Fort Lauderdale or Miami Beach or Boca or Naples, or you name it. That's not radiology. So it is a challenge. I think I'd be curious to hear what people are doing. And of course, I'm talking about fellows since this impacts me the greatest, but it's the same issue with how do you get the residents started? How do you get the medical students started? How is it going to be with colleges? I know my daughter has 2 children, And so one was in kindergarten, and one's going to be, is just daycare. But are the schools going to open? The schools did a little bit of stuff remotely during the March to June timeframe. But what about September? Is it going to be open? Is it going to be open every week? What are you going to do if somebody's sick? Little kids always get sick. They're all sniffling. Are you going to say it might be COVID? Are you going to test the kids every day? How are you going to do that? You can't tell a 4-year-old keep 6 feet and wear a mask. The Pediatric Society recommends under 2 not to wear a mask. It's actually more of a danger than not wearing a mask. Not wearing a mask is more dangerous than not wearing a mask. So with the teachers, and the students, how are you going to do that? Maybe you're not going to have sports and gymnastics, but how do you do the daily routine? How do you do it for older kids? You want to decrease the class size, but you can't increase the hours. So, how are you going to do that? Are you going to have less students in the class, and people are going to go to class every other week? So those are things that really people are thinking about. Also, in synagogues, regardless of your religion. So I'm Jewish. We go to synagogue. They're already worried about the high holidays, which come in September. We're in a very large synagogue, 1,500 or 1,600 people, but that's now with social distancing. You're crammed in a row. Now you're going to say you're going to have 200 people instead of 1,600, or you're going to work on shifts. Your prayers are going to go from 5 hours to 1 hour. You're going to do it in the parking lot. You're going to do it by Zoom at home. What exactly are you going to do? It's whatever it is. It's not going to be the way you've always done it for thousands of years. I think that really is challenging. So it'll be interesting. And I think this is the challenge for everybody. It's not just your work environment that's screwed up or different. It's your home environment, it's your kids' environment, it's your friends' environment, it's your religious environment, it's every single spectrum of what you can do. Now, at home, some things are easier. Remember, before you had problem getting wipes, you had problem getting chicken, you had problem getting beef, you had problem getting soup. Okay, now the stores are stocked, and where Instagram, or Instacart rather, which we use, it would take like days to get a reservation, and then they would come a week later and couldn't get half the stuff you asked for. Now the Instacart person has it done before you finished putting the list down, and they're at your house in an hour, and everything you wanted you ordered. So there's some things, the supply chain issues have definitely decreased. So I'm interested. Let's see. So who's on there? Atir, from, I don't know where he's from. Hi. And Whitney, who's on the way to New York, is logging in, and B is across the street. Meg is in New Jersey, and Lydiana. Hey, Lydiana. Lydiana's in Palo Alto, California. And Lydiana was emailing me that the numbers, even in Palo Alto, are starting to go up. California is one of the places that's having issues. Whitney mentions that Fishman School will be the school of choice. It's kind of like I mentioned, we have 2 little kids talking to each other about the coming school year, and they say, well, I hope I don't get the same nasty teacher at the end of last year. Parents are really good as teachers, but people will never underestimate the value of teachers. Not that they ever did, but when you have to take your own child at any age and try to school them and try to get them to pay attention, first you spend your entire time not letting your kids watch iPads so they would be paying attention and not watching TV all the time. Now you make them watch the iPad, so it's talk about a screwed up system, but you need them to watch the iPad because you need them to be able to interact with their classmates at the school. Let's see who else is online. Mace Chapel sounds like an exotic place. John Biacchino, that's about 9 miles away from here in Lutherville or Timonium, wherever you want to say it. Hi, John. And then Laura Marie, hello, I don't know where that's from. And Vijay is from Serbia. But if anyone has any thoughts about what they're doing differently, you could let us know. You could actually put a little tag at the bottom of this lecture when I finish this talk. It's going to be online, so you'll be able to look at it there. If you do it on Facebook, it's easier to see. I don't think you could, we post this, Lily will post this on YouTube when I finish, but on YouTube and Instagram, you can't really write comments, and I don't think, and truthfully, I don't look there, so if you put it there, I'm not going to look at it, but you put it on Facebook, I will definitely look at it. So going forward, what else can you do? Are there any thoughts of processes? on CTisus, we're doing everything. We figured out solutions to how to, some things are more complicated. I sent Lily something, she sends it back to me. I sent Sarah something, sends it back to me. So we are working on, Lily's finishing up the protocols, which is my fault. The last 3 aren't finished, but that'll be next week for sure. We are upgrading the lectures. We've almost upgraded every single app on CTisus with new content as well as new functionality. So those are things that are worthwhile to try. It's definitely good. We're doing our speaker series still, and those of you who may have seen today on JACR, there are 2 different articles that were just published. One of them by Brian King from Marriott. And Brian, I'll give you a shout out. Brian was in charge of a lot of the customer experience thing, and now he was just promoted where he's head of the Marriott in the Caribbean and South and Central America. Just to let Brian know that my favorite hotel is the Ritz-Carlton in the Grand Cayman. So I'm not saying there's any pressure there, but if I ever get back there, which is a big if, perhaps we could. Maybe I get an upgrade or something, or a basket of fruit. No, just joking. We thank Brian. It's a terrific article. And Ed Smith is an article as well on AI, so both of those are really good. There's someone knocking at my door. I'm going to ignore them for a second until we finish this. But if anyone has any ideas or thoughts, just let me know. And we'll keep you updated what we're doing. We're trying to figure out all sorts of solutions. There's nothing perfect. I think the best thing you can do is tell people you're really trying, and just figure out what other people are doing, what's working, and really give it your all. So that's what we're trying to do. And at CTisus, we're doing the same thing. You're going to see lots of new content. We're really excited about it, and we'll keep you informed. And with that, I wish everybody a great day, and and also a great holiday. Those of you who celebrate July 4th, let me know, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.